Okay, what would you like to do, Science?
Well, Christgorge is probably floaty, huh?
Yeah, yeah, we could try slurping it. It might get hung up in the middle. It might push
Yeah.
both through, or it might do some other undefined answer.
Yeah.
I
Well,
don't know.
yeah, I'm not sure if it's not exactly a real strong.
If we do grab it and sample it through the slurp, and it doesn't make it out the other side, then we can confirm that it's stuck.
And it'll be more stuck.
It'll be more stuck.
Now with the Christgorge.
Well, that one piece that we did slurp was long and narrow, so it may not block something that could kind of squish around it like the Christgorge, yeah.
Maybe you just can't make it over a bend.
Yeah.
So if you want to try that, I'm happy to try that.
Let's try a piece of the Christgorge.
Okay.
Definitely one of the more flexible of the corals that we're looking at.
Okay.
I'm imagining that if there's something that's blocked and you put more in front of it, it's going to be more blocked.
Unless it needs a tap, which this might be a tap.
It's got a squat up top right where you are.
So we need to change out of turn off suction and change to jar 3. Is that correct?
Or do you want to go into 2 again?
Seems like if we're going to end up with that, maybe dislodging that larger piece, we should just use 2.
Same. Yeah.
There's you see that white squat lobster up top there, Trevor?
I do, yeah. Do they want that?
I don't think
so.
so.
We got a squatty now. So note that this squat, if we get it, is on the Christgorge.
Maybe the squat could dislodge that thing for us.
Yeah, how do you want to sample this? Just a little snip of various pieces? It's not very linear.
Yeah.
Any requests?
What do you think, Sam?
Just from the top,
right,
yep.
Right what
like
you're
this?
doing.
Yep. No squat, great.
Partial.
Thank you.
So will this be a different sample number? Probably should be.
Same tube, different sample number.
Same tube, different sample.
This one will be 097.
Got it.
Is that too tight for you?
You're good. Let's try this end first this time. There we go.
Go in and bubble.
It should be in there soon. Hopefully you can come out, Ed.
Coming out.
There it is.
Okay.
All right. Well,
Okay, so maybe we just missaw it, that piece didn't actually go in.
Can we grab a zoom on the Christgorge
Yes.
before we leave? I know it's after, but
We done with the...
I think we're done with the slurp.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can do the stop, spin, flush routine. Sam, I'm going to line it up before we take a zoom there.
cool.
Try them
Alrighty.
wide.
It's okay if they're together since they are now together in tube.
All right, you can zoom in on both.
interesting to see them.
All the way in. All the way in.
Just see them next to each other, both
Again,
sides.
yeah.
It's nice. All right. And since we've got some sponges and several
There you
coral
go, right.
species here, let's trigger in this Niskin.
Niskin eye.
Oh, back to port.
I'll try and risk a bump up here.
Riskin and Niskin.
Oh, that was a nice bump.
7.
Thanks.
Niskin will be 098.
Yes.
Okay, come full wide, please.
Full wide.
Oops.
Oh, that's cool. And then over here.
There's a lot going on.
Okay,
on
can I
this
get bubble
side.
on 6,
for
please?
that. Are we going for 7?
7's open, yeah.
I like 7 and 8 because they have that tape on them. It's easier to tell.
Yeah.
All right, let me get you some brightness and focus here.
Can you
You rack
bubble
to
left
back.
a little bit? Yep. Confirming, right
Double
back.
check.
And then up a little bit. Good there, thanks.
So this water sample will be used for
Right.
environmental
I got eyes.
DNA
There we go.
analysis.
Niskin triggered.
Let go though.
So we're trying to build up a database of DNA for deep water species for future comparison. Water from water samples taken elsewhere.
And the neat thing about eDNA collection is that it's just water samples, so it's not invasive. We're not having to snip every single thing we're seeing here. Although the coral cutters allow us to do that in a much less damaging way. Just taking a snip instead of the entire specimen.
Okay.
Okay, we could
good to go?
Yeah, continue up the ridge.
Okay.
I'm gonna go 075. Bridge nav. 40 meter step bearing 075. Thank you.
So what's the consensus? Do we think that coral is still in the hose and the other one bypassed it? Do we think we missed it in the first place, or it was just smaller than we thought, or what?
I think the Chrysogorgia slipped by a piece of bamboo in the hose. That's what I think. But
Yeah.
So we think it's still in the hose then?
a piece, perhaps.
Okay.
There's a 50-50 chance, I guess.
Yeah.
I want you to go to port, so I want to also go to
Yeah, that
port.
statement's either
I'll go
accurate
away.
or it's not.
Sorry, it might be a little seasickness inducing motion here. Just going to try and go quickly.
I think that, you know, we saw it go in, we saw the bamboo go in the hose. I don't think we all misjudged that.
When we got a system handoff over here at Watch Change, Trevor, I did not get a report on the pie, so I don't think it was used.
Roger.
But it's
Is
working.
it functional? Okay, good.
Yeah, very much so.
Good.
Looks like it's functional.
All right, that's good. System health check complete.
So Rennie, what did you win for getting closest bet on the shallowest depth of the seamount?
As far as I know, the satisfaction of winning.
Did you get a big
Oh,
word?
no.
You got a round of applause. You just weren't there for it.
That's awesome. I'm jealous.
Maybe you got another one of those. Oh, you weren't there for the trivia, were you?
No.
I think you might have actually won the trip.
Yeah.
The free trip to Hawaii.
Yeah,
Oh, right.
it's an all
Yeah.
expense paid trip to Honolulu, Hawaii, and it includes one night stay on the exploration vessel Nautilus.
Only one night. though, so
Offer
you gotta get off.
expires
Yeah.
September 17th. So act now.
Actually, Rennie, you're on for the next cruise, right?
Nope.
Nope.
Yep, one night.
It does then. One night only.
Yeah, come back after that one.
Oh, that's right.
Oh, who's on next?
going to-
Lindsay.
Yeah.
Come on, next.
Trevor, did you copy that my nautical sector is 075?
No, I did not copy that.
Not your nautical sector.
Yeah. No, yours. Yeah.
Got it.
This is what I think about that.
Bridge now.
Putting on a little,
We can add one more step.
looks like a little
Okay.
local maximum here, coming down the backside.
I wasn't very close to that depth though on the contest.
What was the final?
I think it was like 1200,
12 something? Yeah.
maybe 13.
Could you come down on your delta, please?
Yeah, I figured my guess was a long shot.
Yeah, I didn't want your guess to be right.
No.
You'd win something.
For Free trip to Hawaii.
Yeah. On a Coast Guard vessel.
Yeah.
Right. No. Helicopter ride.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
That's a big, is it stock down there on the left?
Looks like a
So
fallen
those little
thing.
branching lines or whatever?
Yeah, yeah, something falling over.
Yeah.
It was big at one point in time.
Yeah, that might be crazy, but are we still focused near on Hercules?
Not really. I mean, like
Okay.
that near?
That's
Or,
That looks good there.
that's good.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's right there.
Okay.
Better 1 or 2?
A or B?
A
Lambda or omega?
what's our
Sorry, what's your...
slope?
Yeah, we're at 15 meters off bottom on Argus. Going
Yeah.
down slope.
Oh, well, I'm looking at that. Here.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So we're down that slope.
Fine, I'll scare you less.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Okay. I do enjoy scaring you a little bit.
Well, you know.
So at some point
Okay,
we'll want to
coming back
get an exposed piece of basalt if possible. Something that's,
Have you been seeing any?
no, something,
Okay.
something that's broken off. You know,
So
landslide.
we're looking
on the
for
bridge.
angular.
Yeah.
One more step, please.
Pure, ooh, a nice. Got another bubble gum? No, we don't.
Yeah, there's,
So I
really
know
going
that
down the
you've gone
ridge.
over this previously during other dives, but one of our viewers is a
Let's
little
see.
bit curious as to the process of selecting geological samples and what kinds of tests are done to that sample once they're up in the lab.
Right, we don't test anything in the lab. We'll preserve everything, package it up, and send it to URI for an analysis there or elsewhere if it's loaned out. But we're trying to date these seamounts with basalt samples and also examine the mineral content of the crusts and potentially any manganese nodules that we come across. Not sure that we've collected any nodules yet. Just to assess, you know, the richness of the crust for various rare earth metals.
Has anyone had enough geology classes to tell us how they date rocks besides
Oh, yeah.
swipe right? Is it like radioactive isotope?
It is,
or
yeah.
argon and
dating?
potassium,
Yeah.
the ratio, something like that.
I know it's argon dating.
What's this? Never mind. Shadow.
And then we'll also, you know, at the summit, if we can find some samples
now.
of
One more step, please.
pebbly looking, or, you know, rounded pebbles, cobbles that would have
It's just
indicated
us out here.
that this was at the surface and was subject to wave erosion.
Roger. Oh, whoa. Crazy.
Carbonate samples that would have indicated, or fossilized corals that would have indicated shallow water corals.
Would you expect to find that type of sample a little bit closer to the top in this case?
Yes. What was at the surface. So I believe it's still a question about what would cause the coral the shallow water coral to eventually die off, because they can grow at a rate that can keep pace with the subsidence. So it's possible that there is some extinction event sometime in the Cretaceous with maybe low oxygen conditions that would have eventually just stopped that coral from growing and continue to subside.
Oh yeah, I never did finish this.
So you go from an island with a coral fringing reef around it to, you know, it becomes submerged, but the corals continue to grow up around towards the, stay in the photic zone, and so you have a coral atoll, and then eventually just a carbonate capped geo. So Harry Hess was the admiral, professor at Princeton, admiral in World War II. He looked at the photometer data during his cruises and saw these flat-topped features. They reminded him of Geo Hall, a building at Princeton that was for geology, but it was named after Swiss or French geologist. I'd have to look that up. The hall itself, but the shape of the tabletop seamounts reminded him of the flat top of Geo Hall.
And that's Geo with a Y, not an R, right?
G-U-Y-O-T.
Yeah.
Smaller seamounts can take on the appearance of a flat top they've got a volcanic cone that becomes sedimented, but the larger ones were most likely eroded by wave action at the surface.
Is there a way to tell them apart? Would that be the calcium carbonate structure that would differentiate them?
The carbonate cap, yeah, that would also differentiate.
So I think I saw this question from a viewer for the previous watch, and I'm a little bit curious. How do we name seamounts?
Like Doug.
Or scientists in general, how
Right.
is
I mean,
that process?
there is a formal process. I have never gone through it, so
I don't know that we have actually ever named anything, but there's somebody was talking about, was it a United Nations
I think there's
group
a UN body.
on assigning names that it has to go through that process?
Yeah, I think it's an international body, but yeah, typically it's the research partners we work with who lead that naming. For instance, we've worked with sanctuaries, and they would lead that process. Typically trying to solicit feedback from the community in which the new feature is located.
Since this is international waters, it might be a slightly different process.
Exactly.
But yeah, I picked this one because it was en route Johnston, between Howland Baker and Johnston. It was seemed like a good interval to dive again, and also compare maybe the signs of trawling, impact of fishing on the summit of this one versus those that are protected within the national monument. A recent study, a recent publication showed that there is a chance for deep water species, corals and sponges, to recover from damage caused by trawling, but it can take a few decades at least, a decade or two at least. And I think there is a growing recognition to protect some areas in international waters, but that'll be a tough process to negotiate. And I think Megan Lubetkin, on our science team, is presenting a poster about that idea at the next Ocean Sciences, or AGU.
Or both.
Right.
AGU always sounds like it would be an interesting event.
It is. I've been to the fall meeting in
Back in San Francisco again,
yeah.
eh? Was it DC last year?
I lost track. It did move, though.
Yeah, it did move. Here's a transition.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Wow.
I go to AGU every year.
Very
It's
clear.
a really good conference.
Very clear transition here.
It's like 25,000 people.
Do you present?
I do.
Can we move along the edge of this transition? Just to
We're not going that way right now, but we can rearrange.
what is that alignment? What
This
is
alignment is about 130.
Huh.
I think it's at the base of this kind of
It looks
incline.
like it may just be a narrow path or a
Right.
wash.
It could
looks
just
like
be this one little section.
Yeah.
off
Maybe
to
a
port it
flow, if you will.
reestablishes.
Yeah.
Maybe a
I
little
think
bit.
we're too far ahead to follow
You can see
it.
in Argus sonar, we're kind of in a little saddle.
Okay. Yeah, no problem.
And Argus is looking perpendicular to where we're traveling.
It's interesting.
Yeah. Saddle.
There's another stock sponge there on the rock on the right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think similar to the one we collected. Almost
I
looks like a
think so.
mushroom.
Yeah.
It's like an eye.
Yeah.
Argus Mezzo never looks away.
So here's an interesting question for science. One of our viewers wants to know if the shallow water coral are growing upwards to compensate for the subsidence in the Guya. Is there a structural limit to how tall the carbonate can support it? So is there a limit as to how tall the colony can grow? Or the reef?
I'm sure there is. I don't, but I'm not a shallow water coral expert. But yeah, there must be a size constraint there based on the skeleton. But yeah,
Just hold there
it's
for
a
bit.
good question. You know, if they're reef builders,
Hold
they
on.
could maybe build
Go up.
upon themselves. This is the biggest deep water coral reef we've come across on the expedition. This leg of the expedition, I think, was the very large stony coral on Howland. I think it was Howland Island. This northwest ridge on the northwest side of Howland Island. About 10 feet high and 15 feet wide.
Trevor, I think once we end up, we're going to swing a little bit this way. I think I'm going to go 050 to that.
Okay, Roger.
But
yeah.
I'll hold off to see kind of
Where we're going?
where we're going up there.
Sounds good.
Yeah, that looks like a good plan, Rennie.
Thanks. It's another one of our anemones.
But that's a good question, Yashira, because yeah, I can't imagine that you'd have a reef that could be 1,200 meters high.
Yeah.
Not quite.
When we were in National Marine Sanctuary of America and Samoa, some of the researchers on board and education team on board spoke a lot about one of the, actually probably the largest coral head observed in the world at this point that's actually in their waters. It's called Fale Bami, or Big Mama. And it's over 6 meters tall with a circumference of over 40 meters.
Wow.
That's insane.
It is massive, and it's
What kind of coral?
Porites coral, which is normally kind of a encrusting or kind of mound-forming coral, but this one is massive. If you look it up,
Big Mama.
Big Mama or Fale Bami, it is it is huge. The person is just a little dot next to it.
Just 6 meters.
So clearly whatever environmental factors constrain growth, that's not a concern in this particular instance. But it's also been, in protected waters over the last couple decades, and seems to be doing actually quite well.
Couple decades. Do you think it's that old or that young?
Oh, sorry. The waters have been protected for decades.
Oh, protected, not productive.
But
yeah,
the coral colony itself, they say, is at least, over 500 years old, probably more.
Amazing.
Yeah, I don't think the limitation is the strength of the underlying basalt, which I thought was a component of the question. But
Yeah, I think the only thing for that would be is if it's
going to topple the rock over.
Yeah, they want to make sure that we've got a solid foundation. But yeah, generally for shallow water it's different. Instead of here, it's like we find corals anchored with a small base, and then the coral expands, where shallow water corals tend to kind of expand at the base.
Yeah. And you also often have new coral growing over old skeleton.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we typically don't see that as much in the deep sea.
Yeah, the stony coral that we saw, the big one, was maybe several stalks.
Definitely, yeah. We more often just kind of see one stalk here, one stalk there. We do see kind of reefs, but not necessarily built up the way you see in shallow water.
I'm going to go 055. How's that seem? What do you see in here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
Bridge now. 1 step 40 meters bearing 055.
There's a stalked sea pen there on Beluga.
Say again?
Oh, yeah.
There's a stalked sea pen there on the bottom left.
see it there,
Beluga. We don't necessarily need a zoom.
Beluga.
We know what that is, but
It'll take a few minutes for this step.
Yeah, we can make time for
if
this.
we got time.
This crinoid? Or is it a coral?
Sea pen.
A
Yeah.
Sea pen.
Beluga.
Oh my gosh. Go ahead, Ed.
Beluga.
So partial.
That's all right. Looks good. Can we also, Trevor, shimmy right and kind of look at the broken, what's
Come wide
below the ledge? See if there's any exposed basalt down there.
Sure.
Ooh.
We'll take a quick look, then I'll move along.
Just a quick peek. I think this probably broke off eons ago.
Yeah.
So very heavily crusted. Yep.
I can stay on this little ridge thing for the meantime. If you see anything, holler.
Okay.
So Sam, we have a viewer that's interested in our internship opportunities, and they're wondering if it's ever too early in your undergraduate career to apply.
Ooh, that's a good question. The internships are open to all levels of undergraduate students, graduate students, community college students, and recent graduates. So the official answer is no, it's never too early to apply, although we do typically tend to take undergraduate students who are in their second year or higher. And part of that is just we're looking for folks who have made the effort to gain experience in whatever field they're interested in. So whether that's getting summer internships or work experience over the summer, showing that they're pursuing their interest in some sort of hands-on or skill development capacity. So that being said, we've this year actually taken a couple of students in their first year of undergrad because they did a lot of work in their excuse me, community or In this case, it was an ocean science intern with experience working at an aquarium and on a robotics team. And so it just kind of depends on the individual. Like we've said previously, we're not necessarily looking for, a perfect academic record or that you've already taken all the classes that you need. We're looking for people who are excited for this experience and are looking to develop their skills and continue to learn while they're out here, and potentially see this as an opportunity to test out a potential field, career field, network with other people in the field, and learn from all the different teams out here. So more information about our internships and about our specific internship tracks, since it kind of does differ, the kind of skills and experiences we're looking for the 5 different internship tracks, from video engineering, ROV engineering, seafloor mapping,
now 5-5.
ocean science, and navigation.
Roger,
Information
5-5.
on all 5 tracks is on the education tab on the Nautilus Live website, and applications are now open. So you can download the packets there and get some more details.
And they'll be open until when?
That was a great answer.
Good question on when they'll be open till.
I think it's
January,
but I'm not sure
January
about the
20th or
Yeah.
something?
Okay.
So
Yeah. Oh, go ahead.
Rennie,
Thank you,
looking
sir.
ahead,
Yes.
maybe it's a pass down to the next nav. The waypoint 2, it looks like maybe there they could slide along the contour and maybe see some exposed basalt. It looks like a
Sure, let me
A
just
failure
zoom out to see
area.
where 3 is.
yeah,
Okay, so kind of like come over here for a little stretch.
yeah,
And then go
and
up.
then go up.
Okay, yeah. I'll pass that along to my people. You can pass that along to your people.
Maybe drop a target, just to the east of 2. Yeah.
Makes too much sense, Emil.
Did I hear someone say they saw basalt? Roger.
Applications are also open for our Science Communication Fellowship, which Yashira can tell us more about.
Yeah, so the Science Communication Fellowship is open to all formal, informal educators and science communicators out there that might want an experience out at sea. And the goal with this is not only to take you out to sea and collaborate with the rest of the team here on the EV Nautilus. It's also to actually bring ocean exploration back to your community. So the idea is to take all those skills that you gather through your experience and then offer them back to schools and the rest of your community once you're back on your hometown. This experience lasts for about a year. It starts with a science communication workshop at the beginning of the year, in which you get to meet the rest of your cohort and the rest of the Nautilus team. And afterwards, you come out to sea, and some of the responsibilities the Science Communication Fellows have include moderating the question feed that comes in throughout the watch time here in the van. We are also contributing photo albums and curating photo albums for the website. And we also conduct live interactions from ship to shore. So we can connect with multiple classrooms and community groups from the middle of the sea. Let's see, what else? Yeah, and there are multiple opportunities for you to take all that you're doing here and bring it back home. So we can create lesson plans or content for our websites and do community activities once we're back home as well. Now, the process of applying for the Science Communication Fellowship, it's very similar to the one that our interns do. So you would have to submit a cover letter and a statement of purpose. So a little essay about why you want to become a Science Communication Fellow. And you also need about 2 letters of recommendation. So I do recommend that you start early.
Is that same sponge?
The little
Awesome,
curly Q off to the left of the...
Yeah.
That was like textbook definition of the fellowship. Thanks. Did you have notes?
Well, let's take a look at that sponge over there.
Centered? Or which one?
To the left, the
To the
tall
left.
one.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's a black coral right in front of us too.
Oh, nice.
Oh, yeah. Let's go this way.
Pretty bizarre. I wonder if that's like a grown-up version of what we sampled.
I don't
Okay,
know.
Ed, go ahead and zoom.
It's a little chunkier,
Yeah.
more
Oop,
robust
bump.
than the
Can't go that way.
delicate ones we've been seeing. Probably same family.
Mm.
Doesn't look too healthy.
Are you feeling current?
Probably same order.
A little bit, but not
Same
bad.
order, yeah.
Like a very minute amount.
Maybe zoanthus or soft coral behind it too.
Huh.
Yeah.
Down below, in front of that bamboo.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Thank you.
Yeah. Gotta go.
Ooh, nice Chrysogorgia collection there.
Yeah. Is it? Are those two the same?
Yeah, I think.
They
Well,
look different. To my untrained eye.
Yeah, they
They
look
do look
different from one
different.
another.
pink and orange.
Yeah.
One looks a little
Can we zoom in on the close one?
scruffier.
Yeah, the one on the
Then I'll
right.
transition
Which
to the
one's
back
the
one.
first one?
The close one.
Nice.
Can I get a transition to the far one?
Hmm.
Yeah, they're
Different colors,
maybe
but
the same.
one seems one in the foreground seems like it's a tighter structure.
One in
Back
the
is a
back
little
seems to have a
bridged
bigger
out.
stalk. I don't know if that's just because it's a bigger organism
One
or
more
not.
step.
Thicker.
You want to move along, or you want more detail on these?
I think we can just take one more look at the other one.
Okay.
Yeah, the pops on that one aren't as tightly
Yeah.
You can zoom in a little more, Ed.
arranged. Ooh, who's up
Nice.
there in the corner?
Huh.
Squirrel.
There's a
What
little
is that?
dark thing in the
Yeah.
upper right,
Seesaw.
upper left corner. Excuse me.
Upper left corner, dark thing? Oh, I see
Yeah.
it there, yeah.
I can come in some more.
Sure.
I don't know if I can
wait.
focus there or not.
Not with my movement.
Huh. Can't tell.
Yeah, all right, come wide, please.
Yeah.
I'm backed away.
It will remain a mystery.
All right, thanks.
Keep wondering how these
Look at that stock.
squat lobsters and shrimp that are inside the sponges and coral find them.
Yeah, that's a great question.
Because it seems to be very specific association.
Yep.
Nice looking sponge.
It's not like this is a huge area of coral abundance.
Yeah.
I think it's oral history
Do a quick
or
spin
oral
of him.
tradition.
Yeah.
Let's move along.
Word of mouth, yeah.
Can you imagine
over
the
there.
larvae just like swifting away from each other in the current, like, find
Yeah.
that coral?
2 rocks to the right.
That is a big question in the deep sea in general. I mean, the same thing is a big question with whale falls. You know, where do all these organisms that have evolved, like bone worms that specifically feed on the bones of animals that have fallen from the surface, how do they find a whale fall, or what are they doing in the times between when a whale actually falls nearby?
Mhm.
So how much progress have we made? Rennie?
Let me check on that. I don't think 9.2 was on our watch. Sample 9.2. 600 and, but we made about a kilometer.
All right. With all that sampling, that's pretty good.
How far have we gone?
About a kilometer, I think. If I'm not mistaken here, about where we were.
With 2/3, 2 hours in.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah, maybe, yeah.
It's moves one fast snipping and slipping.
Right.
Quick draw.
It's not the first time Trevor's been called that.
No, that's my name.
Oh, sorry.
That's Rennie's name, yeah.
I wasn't on that
He's
watch.
hotshot.
Okay. Well, it still remains true.
Although I don't know if you're hotshot anymore.
Depends how you define it.
Yeah.
Is this sponge recently dead, or is it just
Oh.
anchored low?
That one back there.
A little fettuccine
Oh.
front
I
too.
just fell over, I
Sponge
think.
graveyard.
Or maybe it's, yeah. Maybe
Both of
it's
them, yeah.
laying low.
No, they both don't look too good.
Foreground definitely fell over. This
Yeah.
guy,
It's not the best place to catch current. Yeah.
yeah.
Looks a little sedimenty.
Huh. It's getting a lot more cliffy now all of a sudden too, so that'll be fun. Nice little.
Is that a little cup
Sponge
coral on the
there,
rock
cup
there?
coral.
Must be.
Bright red?
Yeah.
We're hitting a slope here, or is this just
Just getting a
large
little
boulders?
steeper.
Okay.
Cliffy is the wrong word. More bouldery, I should
More
say.
cliffy. Wow. Big boulders. That's that.
Who quit?
Kreisa Gorge are very happy around here.
Yeah. The hand dead?
Video's off comms.
Okay.
So we've now been in the water for about 6 hours and a half for this dive. Our current depth is 2,115 meters.
Understood. Yeah, we're coming up to the wall a little bit, or the slope, I should say.
Yeah, what, Argus is, we're going 055. Argus is now facing.
Hey, watch lead. I think we lost our
5-5,
AC
yeah.
up here. I'm going to call
5-5.
bridge, get an electrician.
Roger, thank you.
Okay. Bridge nav. Also add a 1 step, please. Thank you.
Pretty good diversity here.
Video's back on comms.
What's that right to the upper right of lasers? Is that Iridic Gorgia?
Iridic Gorge,
Right in
first
the
one.
center lasers now?
Yeah.
Oh, left of lasers?
Yeah.
First
Good
one we
zoom if
see.
we can do it.
Yeah, I can do it.
Oh wow,
Stand
I
by.
didn't notice it until you mentioned it.
Seen a lot of
Sorry,
Kreisa
go ahead,
Gorge,
Bridge.
yeah.
Came out of
Just
nowhere.
calling Ed.
Data, can you log that time, 2130 as loss of air conditioner?
Okay, thank you. I'll pass
Sure.
that along.
Emma, we're about 85 degrees up here. We've gone up about 7 degrees in the last 2 minutes, 3 minutes.
Ed, George
Sam, we'll
called,
just look at it like this. I think
and the
right now.
electrician has been
right.
notified.
We're off to the right now.
George
on
called, the electrician has been notified, and we'll be.
Great, thank you.
a very dense one on the edge of the boulder. Can we take a look at that one, Trevor?
Or
Or are you on the move?
I think we got to go again. I had this. I stopped and then we got ready to do the get close kind of zoom right now instead of the camera zoom. Video's preoccupied. The video will be off comms for a little bit here, I think.
Emil, winds have
I'm
been
here. What
pretty
do you need?
steady about
Okay,
like
you're good.
I'm
for now.
putting
20
you
to
in auto
22,
iris.
Roger.
and currents 1.3.
Say again, Randy?
The winds have been pretty steady between 19 and 22, and the current is still steady at 1.3.
Roger. Thank you.
And still no more warning level, or nothing higher than that one we saw at the start of watch, Hemmel, for winch tension.
Good.
How
A
about
couple of shutters with the jet pump getting out of the water.
How about a zoom on that? Is that a glass one straight ahead, or is that Chrysler Gorgia? Oh, it looks Chrysler Gorgia.
Chrysler Gorgia, I think. It's a tall one.
This one. Yeah, just like it was just been nothing but warm air. I've gone up to about.
Must be warmer in the front row. It doesn't feel 85 back here.
Yeah. We're still wearing our winter coats.
Bridge nav. One more step. I think we've been making like close to the transfer speed, like 0.8 knots it looks like. So we can cut that down. That's why they, I mean, these are 40-meter steps. And
Right. Yeah, we could cut it down. Sure.
Yeah. Try to limit it next time.
Transfer speed's 0.8,
No, it's at 1.
but we've been making 0.8. I see.
So yeah, so we can
Get
try
time
0.6.
to take a look at those on the left, upper left.
How far left? But yes.
Those two on the that kind of stand out there, or two or three. One
Sorry,
might be
I
a
can't hear ya.
sponge.
Over here?
Sorry. Yeah, over here.
Okay.
I don't know if that's a sponge or coral in the brownish one, but the pink is.
Mamma mia.
Oh, it's a sponge up there. All right. And what, Paragorgia?
Yeah, looks like it. Or the hemicorallium. It is a little lighter pink than the
It is pinker, yeah.
You wanted to zoom on it?
Let's zoom on the pink.
Ed, are you available for that? Okay, go ahead. We'll make it quick, Emil.
All right. Oh.
Yeah, I don't think that's a Paragorgia.
No.
It's more like a hemicorallium, or are there pink plexarids?
Okay, thanks, Ed.
Yeah, coming out.
Take a look here.
No, I think hemicorallium.
Well, it didn't look like that kind of a thick base. It looked more like a primnoid, maybe.
Oh, are there pink ones?
But let's see. What do I know?
The primnoids, I don't know. They seem to be more vertical rather than branching.
It didn't get a long enough look to see if it was bamboo.
What is this, all this kind of encrusting stuff here?
Good question. Might be worth a zoom if we're stopped at some point.
You want to do that?
Yeah.
Okay. We might have time for it. Let's see. Ed, are you available for a zoom?
Yeah, sure.
Go ahead and zoom way in on this, like, white stuff.
Way in,
Way
like
in,
that.
yeah.
It looks like trails of holothurians, if I had to guess.
Really?
Yeah, like the sediment is the way that it's trailed. It could be features of the rock, and just that's where it's sitting.
Something
like
growing there on
cracks
the
in
right.
it.
Yeah.
It's crusty.
There's some little growth of some sort.
Ooh.
Like that right
Come wide,
there.
please, Ed. Full wide, thanks.
You want another step or just wait there for a bit?
Let's
We can
see.
keep going, I think.
Bridge nav.
Yeah, I think we can keep moving.
Add one step.
Yeah, didn't it look like something like Narella?
Kind of, but I think more branched, where those go just straight up. There's this cucumber there. We've been seeing a lot of those today.
No, rock. Are you feeling any effects of current down here, Trevor?
Only when I'm looking for them. They're pretty minor. If I hold position here, you can see it's kind of coming from top right of the screen to bottom left.
Okay.
But it's pretty slow, pretty mild. Enough to feed the coral and not much else.
Can I leave you wide and auto for a second while I go and check on something here?
Yep.
All right, be right back. Video's off comms.
Roger.
We're laid back. Do you want to still continue?
I'm fine with that if
Yeah.
science is fine.
Yeah. Let's keep moving.
Shouldn't be too steep of a slope, so we should be all right. Bridge nav. Add one step.
So Trevor, do you ever have to recalibrate the lasers?
I don't know if you heard that, Trev.
I did not hear
You're
that,
a little
no.
quiet.
Do you ever have to recalibrate the lasers on Herc?
I got to turn you up. Sorry, you're really quiet.
Oh, sorry. I can bring the mic a little bit closer.
Recalibrate the lasers.
Recalibrate the lasers.
The distance between them?
Yeah.
Yeah, we check that fairly regularly, and they almost never drift. If we do any major vehicle maintenance in the area, so around the camera or anything like that.
Ooh,
that
that's
was a good one.
spicy.
Yeah. If we do any major maintenance in the area, we'll check them again, but generally they don't get touched because they are within Cal and they're all locked down.
Okay.
We check them every once in a while to make sure, but we also check them at the start of every season.
All right.
And because we touch them every season, we take them off and maintain them. And then occasionally throughout the season.
Thanks.
Yeah, you bet.
That little coral there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Is it daytime? Yeah, it's daytime.
Yes.
came off one of these morning watches and walked into the mess and had to think hard about what meal they were eating.
It's really disappointing when you think you're getting off to go eat lunch and it's midnight.
Yeah.
It's a nice shelf sponge.
I don't think I've been on a previous dive where we've seen way more Chrysogorgia than bamboo.
Mm-hmm. There's a fish on the left.
Yeah, first fish.
Oh, there's a star.
Oh yeah, look at the
Our
star.
First star of the watch.
And we are at what depth?
2096.
Do we have video back for a zoom or?
Negative.
Nope.
Maybe
Okay.
soon.
Not yet.
Actually, yeah.
Cool.
So,
Hey Ed, you on comms?
Yeah, I'm back on comms.
Could you give me a zoom, please?
Copy, coming in.
Bridge
There's
nav.
your lasers.
Can we reduce transfer speed to 0.6?
Come up a little bit. Whoops.
Thank you.
Whoa, sorry Ed.
That's right.
And then we'll add one more step.
I'm going to come out of auto
Thank
iris
you,
here.
George.
Roger.
So he's got his stomach out, maybe?
It does.
That'd be a convenient way to eat.
I don't know if you copied that, Trevor. I brought.
Convenient in what way?
Well, that's not.
Not so convenient for our species.
Okay, come wide, please.
Uh-huh.
I don't think that's.
It
too
seems
much
to
of
work
an
well
issue.
for the stars.
Yes.
Is that this one?
No, I think it's like engineering, like a note, an engineering note,
I understand.
or
okay.
maybe it. Eng-com.
I don't think
I don't
that was
think they
actually a
talk
star
to each
that we
other.
needed.
There's no reason that this.
But-
Well,
but
just
we
the
saw one.
telemetry, but
We're not recording anything on here.
yeah, I think that maybe I'll call Ben.
Okay, I give him. Oh yeah, he's doing this stuff. I think.
All
too.
right.
So,
So
hemochralium on
So
bottom.
critical,
Yeah.
critical. Hopefully.
80%. That's pretty good.
Yeah. No, is it 80% full? Okay, yeah. Well, what, I don't know. I thought that was just the percent was full.
Oh, I see.
But no, you're right, 80% full. So I don't know what that is then. If that's just because of that. It's the only thing that's yellow.
30
well,
gigabytes
I have
free.
a viewer question for you whenever you have a minute.
Okay. Shoot.
All right, so Hannah asks, besides basalt and manganese nodules, what other rocks have you been finding? Any that are unusual for the location or otherwise considered scarce? Any noticeable fossils?
Yeah, good question. I don't think that we've had noticeable fossils, although there was one collection from shallow depth, one of the Howland or Baker that was thought they were sampling carbonate, but it looked more like possible coral fossil. But some of these we won't know until they are analyzed, whether it's basalt or encrusted sediment. It's hard to tell, even if just from an angular shape, it's hard to tell. So yeah, well, TBD, good question. I'm hoping that maybe we've sampled a nodule. That would be a nice surprise, because typically a manganese nodule is found at the abyss, 4,000 to 6,000 meters or more, and we've been sampling at shallower depths. There was a broad field, like right after we descended this morning. When we reached bottom at about 2,500 meters, there was a broad sedimented field and very uniform sized,
Auto's eye.
rounded kind of pebbles or cobbles.
Okay.
So they could have been encrusted rocks rather than nodules, but there might be a surprise there. I'm not sure. But we don't have any definitive